Okay, here we are back in Anima, Gate of Memories. Where we last left off, we arrived at the tower, and it's time to finally get started. So right here I'm looking around for various things, just to see what all I can interact with, where all I can go, stuff like that. Ultimately, I do decide to go to the first area, the Mansion of Puppets, but the disclaimer I have to put out real quick is that I'm uploading these out of order from how I played them. So right here is the Mansion of Puppets. I'm looking at the map to verify, but I didn't even know that the map existed when I was first playing through here. As such, I did Folklore first. You'll notice that if you look on the ground in the main area, but I believe you're supposed to actually do this one first. Folklore is supposed to be the third world. This is supposed to be the first. So in order to access it, you have to push the block. That will create a stepping stone. You can help yourself to the Gladius. I don't remember if I ever do equip it. I think I might put it on Ergo if anyone. But you can see all the items I have because I went to Folklore first. Now, as a result of that, I do have a little bit higher stats and skills than I'm supposed to, but the area here isn't actually too bad compared to the later ones. To put into context for you, Folklore has you have to alternate between the two characters in order to injure the enemies there. Like, there are some that only Ergo can hurt, some only the bearer can hurt. Here, anyone can hurt anyone, and they're pretty weak to ranged attacks for the most part, so if you play to your strengths, it's not too bad. Anyway, I'm going to be jumping in and out of this commentary, but this is the main area, which you'll be seeing a lot of.
Look at all those puppets. They seem almost alive.
Yeah, this looks like a haunted house. I hope that they move and attack us or something. That would be so cool.
Ugh.
So I don't know if the devs are going for a tension type feel, but they failed to achieve it there. So if you want to do this one real quick, the password is Nascal. That's what's written on the portrait right there, Nascal. That holds a prison key, which you will be getting in this video. It's about an hour long, so hopefully you'll bear with me. Now, you can get a little bit of money by just smashing the various mannequins or dolls, puppets, whatever you want to think of them as. I think they're actually classified as marionettes, but there's little bits that you can get from here and there. In case you're wondering, I will get that purple item a lot later on. If you want to get it now, you can, but it's not really anything special. You just have to jump up on that little marionette handle-like thing from the ceiling, and then you can walk over to it. So to explain this place, there are going to be a few places where you can input a dial combination. There will be some sort of clue given, like the greatest artist. That's referring to the boss you're going to be fighting here, Nascal, and I can't remember what his last name is, something like Michirum or something. And in order to find these answers, you need to get his memories. Now, unfortunately, I don't get all of the clues here. In case you're wondering, I did not get the Fated Sister, or actually I think that's the only one, at least that I noticed. And as such, I did not find all of... This is Gaudemus, in case you want to get that one now, Gaudemus. That will open the door to the prison key. So I don't know if there's any incentive to actually get all of the memories or not, but you need at least 3 to fight the boss. And they're hidden throughout this maze-like dungeon. So you'll fight various marionettes, some burning, some not, some miscellaneous drones, and if you can navigate through the whole thing, solving the small puzzles here and there, you can fight Nascal, and then you'll complete the first area. So anyway, I'm going to jump to the next mark here.
Solomon Magitech. Science of the Lost Times?
Unusual. It's not something you expect to see in a place like this. Babe, these seals, they are linked to the paintings.
Yes. There must be something in them. Now magical golems from Solomon?
Yeah, this mansion is full of surprises. You see? Living evil puppets! Hell yeah!
Oh, shut up! There is so much suffering here. This formula, it emanates a different energy from the rest of this place. This formula, it emanates a different energy. The entity linked to this place is a psycho.
So right here we have a mid-boss, mini-boss, whatever you want to think of it as. And as simplistic as this fight actually is, it was actually a massive sigh of relief, breath of fresh air, whatever you should think of it as, but I actually enjoyed this because there was finally some variation. I didn't have to deal with these teleporting, hyper-moving enemies. In case you're wondering, the boss in Folklore Capel, he is even faster than the Red Lady. So actually having a fight here where we could do something other than having to chase after him non-stop or run from homing attacks was very, very refreshing. Now right here I decided to start picking off the mannequins around him so that I can try to run in and hit him when his back is turned, and additionally I'm also going to be getting health back. Now you can see that the move he's using does pack some recoil in the event you get hit by it, and ultimately I finally resolved to just focus out all the mannequins, that way I can move in without having to worry about them swatting me aside and stuff like that. It is a little bit annoying that such a disposable enemy actually can stagger you so easily, but it's not too bad since they're at least slow and they do telegraph their stuff to a pretty good degree. So with those out of the picture, I can now finish off the prototype. Plus, doing it this way actually does kind of maximize your yield, since you do get EXP and money from them. Now, the Naburius thing, I tried using that as the Sister of Fate password, but I think I need the other two memories from Nascal in order to do it. I went ahead and looked online to see where they actually were. One of them is in the prison, you need prison keys to get it, and then the other one is with the merchant Velez. Now, I don't remember if I actually show Velez in this video, but I do end up shopping with him. So here's the first of our memories. I'm going to turn off the mic so that you can hear the bearer narrate. But these are where you get your clues. And these are what the memories look like.
They say that 1 in every 1,000 people is special, and 1 in every million, an unparalleled genius. Nascal Mayorim is 1 in a billion. Since childhood, he showed an inordinate talent to create, a skill that surpassed even the greatest masters of the world. With such a gift, there was never any doubt that, if he wanted, he could have become anything that he desired. But Nascal did not care for such things, for his only passion was the marionettes. When he was a little boy, his parents took him to a theater, where he saw for the first time what would become his obsession. These simple figures of wood and metal, artificial beings posing as people, fascinated him in an incomprehensible way. And it was then, at such an early age, he decided to devote his life to them. Year after year, Nascal learned everything about their construction and handling, developing unique methods to give them more realism and mobility. With time, his works became incomparable, so perfect that it was difficult to distinguish them from living beings. His marionettes were valued as masterworks and appreciated everywhere. And only now, upon turning 25, is Nascal truly pleased. Everyone recognizes that he is the greatest artist in the world.
So while we're here for this fight, I should explain, I have the bearer spec for magic attacks. That's why if you ever see me fighting with her, I'm going to try to spam the spells. Ergo, on the other hand, is spec'd into physical attacks. As such, you'll see me using more of the key-based moves and so on. Now, since I went to Folklore first, I do have more advanced moves, which I'm going to end up using in this room. Basically, Ergo has an AoE attack around him that will just have his claw spin around, damaging everything. Since this is a very confined space, this is actually a really good place to use it, all things considered. I thought I used it here, but it's probably in the next room. So this is the one I haven't gotten yet because I don't have the proper memory. I'm assuming we might get another prison key or something from there, but I don't know. I have to revisit this place eventually.
Nascal entered the hall where the Council of Brax was taking place. The greatest artists and creators of the world met once every decade under those walls. Different civilizations, even non-human creatures, were there to show the wonders they had created over the years. Naturally, only the very best could attend, those whose fame had crossed all frontiers. For many of them, just having been invited represented an honor, but to Nascal, it was quite the opposite. They should feel honored by his attendance. The puppet master walked through the room, trying to pass unnoticed. He paid little attention to several uninspired works that only reminded him of why he was superior to everyone else. Nascal smiled ruefully. Although he did not expect too much from others, he had wished to find something to at least rival with his talent. Lost in those thoughts, a distant word caught his attention. Someone had mentioned Gaudemus, the creator of wonders, whose fame had reached even Nascal's ears. Apparently, he had also been invited, and a group of people were talking to him not too far away. Interested by his fame, Nascal approached him to share some anecdotes with a fellow genius. To his surprise, the legendary creator was much younger than he had expected, and was quick to shake his hand and exchange a polite greeting. Nascal was about to ask about the works he was exhibiting in the council, when the whole room became silent. Everyone whispered that Gaudemus had just arrived. At that moment, the confused Nascal understood what they meant, and a chill of terror ran through his spine. The person he was talking with was not a living being, but a doll. Work of Gaudemus was what he had heard the people say before. Even if it was only for a moment, the mere idea that he had not noticed such a thing overwhelmed the mind of the puppet master. Frantically, his eyes began to gaze closely at all the works exhibited by Gaudemus. The mere sight of them burned his retinas, but at the same time, he was unable to look away. The feeling of anxiety that oppressed his chest grew until it became pain. He even had trouble breathing in the same room that stored such wonders. Unable to wait any more, he staggered out of the room and did not stop running until he was outside. Then, Nascal cried and laughed as hard as he could. He had been blind all this time. In his egotism, he thought he was on top of the world when he was only standing on a small hill. Only in that moment did he realize that his work was far from having reached its full potential. That night would change his life completely. He would create greater works. He would surpass Gaudemus, surpass them all. From that moment, his obsession would be perfection.
Now, in case you're wondering what this door is, this is the only password I believe you have to put in. But that is basically where you will fight Nascal. In order to fight him, you need those 3 memories, so I think I go over there just to see it, and then once I know what the room is, I decide to turn around, but I edited all that out for your convenience. But here we are in the basement. You get to this through the one hallway.
Traps. This is our best date ever.
And the thing that sucks about these death trap things is even if you touch the spears from the side, that's still an insta-gib and you have to go all the way back. So you just have to time things, get through here. It's not too hard if you're willing to put in the time, but it's just an annoying thing at best. And it really does suck that if you touch the sides of the needles, you die.
I'm just a merchant, and if I had a name, I do not remember it now. Open this door, and I promise you that I'll know how to thank you.
So there are 8 prisoners down here. I used the key on him just because I was curious to see how it worked. The reward for freeing him is just money.
The secrets, the passages, the...
Now, the 0 is going to tell you that you can only free 7 prisoners, but there actually is a way to free everyone. It's just, this is a side quest that's going to last the entire game. That one key that I had, I got that from the folklore
I have
world.
no importance. There is nothing I can do for you. My husband...
I free her, I give her priority and her husband, you'll see why.
Everything is confusing.
I believe he's the one with the memory for Nascal. So right here is more death traps, I guess. Okay, here we go. So there are 8 prisoners down here. And the keys are hidden throughout the entire game. The rewards for doing these, if you free the husband and the wife, you get a mana regen item.
I am the one who devours everything. The one who stands over creation itself.
To be honest, I want to free him next, but...
I have nobody. I have never...
But the mana regen item is incredibly valuable for how I play the bearer, so that I can spam spells like no tomorrow, pretty much.
Blood. I only...
I am sorry, World Walkers.
Not sure how you open that just yet, but something to come back to, I guess. Anyway, these are the 8 prisoners. You will see me free 3 of them over the course of the video. I've already seen 1, but the husband and wife will be freed. So in order to get the next 2 keys, you will get one from 0. He's a person you... I believe if you went to this place first, it'll be your first encounter with him. But since I met him in folklore, we already know each other, and you won't get the proper context until we get to World 3. And as annoying as these little buggers are, I'm glad there is some enemy variation here. I'm tired of already fighting the marionettes, and I was, to be completely honest, I was really concerned that I was going to be fighting those guys throughout this entire level. It was bad enough fighting them on the way to the tower. Fighting them actually here was probably going to push me over the edge. And in case you're wondering, I do have a lot of nasty things to say about the folklore world. So you have a lot to look forward to when we get to World 3. Now, one thing I will admit about this is I'm not really good on keeping up to date with my equipment. As such, Ergo is going to get punished quite a bit because I don't give him priority in terms of items. It's the bear who gets most of the stuff for me. Where I am now, I'm actually trying to save up to get him a key regeneration item. Key is basically just the stamina of the game so that he can use his skills more often. And because of the way I have him spec'd, his physical attacks hurt more than the bearers.
again, Wanderer of Arcane.
You're different from the other shadows.
Because I have awareness of everything around me? You could say that.
I've seen more like you. They were locked in a prison. I tried to talk to them, but they were not lucid.
Nor will they ever be as long as they're there. For many of them, that's not where they belong. In their correct rooms, they would be more lucid, as you say.
So I just need to free them?
You can't release them, it would be impossible for you. The tower won't allow it. They're too entrenched in their memories.
And you think that some bars will be a huge impediment? Idiot.
What imprisons them may seem to be metal bars easy for you to bend and destroy, but I assure you, it's much more than that. Each place is a whole existence by itself. It's the very concept of a prison which contains them.
So there's no way?
I didn't say that. I said it was impossible for you. But why are you interested? Do you have some relationship with any of them?
A few seem to have relevant information for us.
Interesting. I think I'll help you with this. It may be worth contemplating what will happen.
Can you do it?
Every gate has an exit. Every prison a way out. Just as there are doors, there are also keys in the tower. I can open them. Here's one. It will open any door, but only one. Like I said, they're more in Arcane. You only need to find them. But it would be better if you were both very careful when choosing which prisoners to release. Not all of them tell the truth. Not everyone deserves to be imprisoned. Not everyone deserves to be freed. Choose well. It will bring consequences. And even if you find all the keys, in the end, one door will remain locked. Now go. I'm done talking.
Everything is confused.
I have no importance. There is nothing.
the one.
I am nobody.
So in order to collect our rewards, we have to come back to Arcane. Cutting to that right here, as you can see. And these lights on the ground correspond to the memories we've unlocked. You can see on the map where the shadows are. This is the husband and wife.
You saved her. You really did. I will find a way to reward you. Believe me.
Thank you. You freed him. This isn't much, but please, take it. It is my only possession.
Now I don't know what the helmet dude gives you for freeing him. It's something that I'm willing to wait and see. Right there is my precious mana regen item, which I'm eager to equip, and you will see me abuse that non-stop against the fight with Nascal. And the other one is over here. But each of those orange lights corresponds to the memories we found.
So, you are here at last. I must fulfill my part of the deal, just as I promised. This is yours. I know that somewhere in this place, there's a person who will be interested in it.
That would be the Merchant Villas. Now that I have over 20,000, I'm able to buy the EXP enhancing weapon, which is why I'm making a beeline straight here. And I'll show you where he is, what he is, stuff like that. But here we are. So you can buy weapons, materials, or consumables from him. Right here I wanted to take a look at the consumables. Nothing I'm too eager to get, even though I could go really heavy in mana regen. I want to get the actual absorption of existence, or essence? No, it's existence. And I can't tell what this is exactly, but from my interpretation of it, I want to say that it gives you more existence for killing stuff. So basically it's a way to farm money. And I passed the weapon I'm actually interested in. It's the very bottom one, his most expensive, in case you're wondering. And there we go. So if you look, you get expanded experience, you get more EXP from killing stuff. I wanted this so that I could try to minimize the grind as much as possible, because I can already... It's very, very unlikely I'm going to be able to do these daily, so by shaving off some grinding time, that means I'll have more time to actually move forward with the storyline and try to get these videos out more often, since I am trying to do this simultaneously with House and Fata Morgana. But anyway, with those two, I'm done with him. I pretty much spent everything I had, and we need to get back to work. Now, if you have the second memory, you can actually unlock this door here. The place where everything began. Where did Nascal meet Gaudemus? And right here I'm going to pull up the memory to show you, but it's Bourlage, even though
They say that
they pronounce it a funny way.
Special, and one in every million, an unparalleled genius. Nascal entered the hall where the Council of
So putting in the password will give you the third memory, then we can go fight Nascal. And like I said, you could get the memory from the prison, and then I don't know how you get the one from Villas just yet, but we're not done. That's all you need to know. So I was trying to figure out if there's some meaning to those signs on the wall. There is meaning when you get into folklore for the Zodiac Temple, but that's...
Nascal suddenly awoke. For months, he had been unable to sleep well, and that night had been particularly bad, something which he blamed on the emotion of being so close to finishing his work. Washing his face, he noticed how terrible he looked in the mirror, and thought that very soon he would have to be ready to return to society. Nascal was unsure of how much time had passed since he had visited the Council of Brax. After that night, he invested his vast fortune in creating a secluded mansion away from the civilized world. A huge and well-equipped workshop in which he could devote body and soul to his work, free from distractions. It had been years, or maybe even decades, since the last time he had contact with another human being. But loneliness meant little to him. All that mattered was that he was close to reaching his goal. Over the years, just improving his creative talent wasn't enough for Nascal. His goal was much higher. He devoted day after day to research the same process Gaudemus developed to make his works, becoming an unrivaled expert in lost science and supernatural rituals. With such unusual tools, he managed to create countless animated puppets, which were able to move by themselves, the very ones that now protected his mansion and took care of its maintenance. But they were all just prototypes for his definitive work, the ultimate puppet. An artificial being so perfect, it would not be aware that it was not alive. Nascal solemnly went down to the heart of his workshop, where his most valued masterpiece waited for him. On the table was a body. Any observer would think without a doubt that it was a true human being. It had the same appearance as its creator, as identical as 2 drops of water. The master puppeteer smiled. In his next encounter with Gaudemus, it would be his marionette that greeted him. An ironic joke that only he would be able to understand. After reviewing the status of the project for hours, Nascal determined that it was only a matter of days until it was finished. Only a few pieces were missing, which should be stored in his secondary workshop. With unusual anxiety, he walked to the north wing in search of them. It had been a long time since he had visited that area of the mansion, and he was not even really sure of why he stopped going there. Upon entering the room, the master puppeteer was struck by the terrible state of the place. He didn't remember having forsaken it for so long. Without giving it too much thought, Nascal walked to where the pieces were stored, but he saw something in his way which puzzled him. There, sitting in the workshop, was a corpse, holding the parts Nascal had come for. His flesh, rotted and dried, was in pretty bad shape, suggesting that it had been in that place for a long time. Surprised, Nascal approached to examine the body, but before he could do so, the puppet master became completely paralyzed with terror. Because, despite being worn and wasted, there was no doubt. The corpse had exactly the same face as him.
Once all three are in place, this passageway opens and then Nascal is on the other side. So keep in mind we're fighting a puppet master.
You shouldn't be here. This is my core.
Nascal the Puppet Master, come out. Don't hide in the shadows.
Go away. If you won't, I will destroy you.
Answer me. What is your intention coming to the tower?
I did not come. I was brought here. I heard a voice whispering in my head. I saw a light, and then I was here.
I have seen your memories. The things that you've done. The lives you've destroyed. Everything. You lost yourself and became a monster.
Wrong. I never lost myself. That was all for the art. And what about all the things that you have destroyed coming here? And even before that, we are all sinners looking for an answer, hunter of shadows. The only difference is the reasons.
Come out. Let's put an end to this.
I will. You will be wonderful marionettes.
Now, there are a few ways to actually hurt him. The way I ultimately settle on going is just spamming spells in his face. You could try to jump over and actually swing at him, and then his arms can also be damaged. So once he misses his attack, you could attack them, but I'm just more interested in going for the face. Since I don't attack the arms, I don't know if there's actually any sort of event that can happen as a result of it. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, it's something along the lines of the, well, here you get to see what happens if you keep shooting him in the face. I don't know if anything else can happen though. So right here I'm trying to do a combo where I can go from the bearer's physical attacks into Ergo's, but don't know how to do that just yet. The thing that I was thinking along the lines of was the Iron Golem from Dark Souls, where you could attack its leg to knock it down. I believe if you keep shooting him in the face, he'll keep falling down like that. I don't know if there's anything that you get for shooting his arms, but you will see me stun him and then switch over to Ergo and then swipe the hell out of him. Now, in the event he uses those and you do not want to just take the damage, you can try to run, and I mean you actually have to use the key run, because if you don't, then they have no trouble catching up to you. And in the event you are okay with using consumable items, then yeah, you're free to actually just sit here and trade with them. Eventually you'll win. But I was incredibly grateful here that the boss wasn't teleporting. He may be a fixed turret type boss, but it's a lot less annoying than the Red Lady or Compel.
You can't run. Come, my beautiful creation.
So the nice thing about these is a chance to heal up. With all the mana regen I have, you can see that I can just blow these things up very easily. I think the last one I take a little bit of time. I thought I'd wait a little bit to let my mana regen, but oh well. So he's down. This looks like a job for Ergo.
You can't run.
And now that he's back in his attack mode, I just switch back to the bearer and spam spells. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if there's a way to dodge those flame attacks. Those are the ones that give me the most trouble because they... Well, the air radius is so big relative to the amount of time it takes for it to detonate. It's very, very hard to get out of those, even if you try running. So I just said, screw it, face tank. Sadly, it's not a very glamorous fight, but it's your first boss, I guess. Not counting the Red Lady.
You can't run.
Right there you saw I could shoot the arm for damage.
My beautiful creations.
And then for the Cinder mannequins, or whatever they're called, you need to hit them with a spell to extinguish their flame, and then you're able to melee attack them. Now, unfortunately, they are very magic resistant from my experience, so you can't just spam your spells with the bearer to kill them. You actually need to go in there and beat them down with Ergo's bare damn hands. And yes, they will reignite if left alone for a little while. If you keep using spells, then the flames will stay down.
I can see them in the theater. The marionettes. They are wonderful.
Huh? This power. Baby? What's happening?
The dream goes on. The little girl is still in the dark hallways of the heart of the Order of Nathaniel. Around her, there are dozens of sealed rooms which contain incomprehensible monstrosities that should not exist. The Inquisition brought the child there only a few hours ago. They said it was just for protection, to be sure that she was safe, although the truth is that they didn't know what to do with her. It was too dangerous to let her live, but she was still an innocent child. Even the most radical amongst them didn't want to kill her just because her blood was different. A blood that would empower any supernatural creature who fed on her. The Inquisition thought that her pursuers would not be able to enter the holy city of Nathaniel, so they would have time to decide what to do there. They were wrong. The little girl can't run anymore. The long hallway ends, and in the darkness, she finds a closed door. With her frail arms, the child opens it. She hopes that inside, she can finally hide from the things that follow her. Those who pursue her are the same monsters that had destroyed her village. The ones who took her parents away. The ones who stole the little world that she had known. Her small eyes look around the room. A chill runs through her body. It seems that no one has been there for a long time. But it is not empty. In the center, there is a book. And somehow, looking at it, she feels even colder than before. Ergo? What happened?
I'm not sure.
For a legendary godlike entity, you know very little.
I was near omnipotent, baby, not omniscient. Knowing too much always spoils the fun. My guess is that the core was linked to that entity. After we destroyed him, it couldn't hold itself together and collapsed. Following that, we reappeared in this place. I don't know why you lost consciousness. There's something else I want to tell you, little girl. That power, the one you felt there, it's mine.
What do you mean?
After kicking the ass of that guy, something came to me. I thought it was merely assimilating his essence, but it was more. I regained part of my power, my real power, the one I am unable to use sealed in this book.
Why are you telling me this?
Honestly, I'm not very sure. I guess I just wanted to play fair with you. Or maybe I just wanted to freak you out a little. In any case, it is true. And the plan is?
You don't need to ask. We'll stick to our original goal.
I can't complain. This is becoming much more fun than I thought it could be.